Good morning everyone, how you doing? It's Paul here from Unusual Things. Now today we are in Belfast City Cemetery and we have come to find the final resting place of Samuel Cleland Davidson. I keep getting lost with that one all the time in my mouth. Now if you don't know who he is, I will tell you about him real soon, but he is a very, very important man in our history. Not only is he the man that helps you keep cool in the summer months, but he's also the man that helps us drink lots of tea. You know, that good old English favourite. Anyway, if you like the video today, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. And of course, hit that notification bell. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Samuel Cleland Davidson real soon. Just wait for the police to go past. I promise they're not after me. I'm going to get on and tell you about him now. So Samuel Cleland Davidson, KBE, 18th of November 1846 to the 18th of August 1921, was a British inventor and engineer. Davidson was born in County Down on the 18th of November 1846, the youngest child of a family of Ulster Scots. He was educated at the Royal Belfast Academical Institution, the INST, and left at the age of 15 to work at the Belfast civil engineering firm William Hastings. As a teenager, he gained experience as an apprentice to a surveyor in Belfast and visited his uncle John Davidson's flax mill in Drummarnas, probably the first in Ulster to be equipped with power machinery. He also became familiar with John's experimental approach using scientific methods to increase crop yields in flax farming for the linen industry. These early experiences gave Sam a lifelong appreciation for learning through personal hands-on experience and innovation in commercial agriculture and engineering. In 1864, Davidson left his job to work for his father, James Davidson, who owned a flour mill close to the site of the latter Sirocco Works. The Indian government had discovered wild tea growing in the Assam region and was determined to initiate a massive tea growing operation there, with the potential to generate huge wealth for the British Empire as it consolidated its hold on the economy of India. The opportunity to have its own tea industry and become less independent on the importing the empire's favourite drink from China was too important to ignore. Initially, the government paid for and organised clearing the forest and planting and management of tea gardens, as the large plantations were called. Once they were established, they were sold to private investors to consolidate and expand and develop a commercially viable industry. Samuel's father and uncle set up a business importing tea and bought a share in a tea estate in Kasha, 300 miles northeast of Calcutta in India. Samuel's cousin James went to India to personally manage the estate and later invited 17-year-old Samuel and some other local young men to join him. Samuel Davidson quickly gained a reputation as a hard-working, trustworthy and successful estate manager. He applied his agricultural and engineering knowledge to significantly improve crop yields and to begin mechanising every stage of the archaic and very labour-intensive process involved in turning plucked tea leaves into a marketable product of consistent quality. As a person who had not pursued higher education at home, Samuel's innovations mainly came about through persistent experimentation, and his greatest success were sometimes counterintuitive to assumptions of engineers at the time. Not knowing that he was trying to achieve with centrifugal fans was considered impossible by more educated mechanical engineers turned out to be a great blessing. When he later travelled to America to prove to sceptical patent authorities that his design actually worked, he said, "1 ounce of fact is worth a ton of theory." The Sirocco Story, Birth and Growth of an Industry by Edward Maguire, 1958. He sold the property in India in 1874 and returned to Ireland, where he began to manufacture his patented tea machinery with Combe, Barber and Coombe of Belfast. After a year of manufacturing the first versions of his tea machinery in Belfast, Samuel returned to India in 1878 and toured the major centres of tea production with a portable tea factory, which he set up in each remote location to demonstrate to the planters what his products could achieve. The orders started to flood in, and as his machines became the standard for the whole industry over the following years, his expertise in every aspect of the industry was so respected that tea companies paid him to spend time in each area. He took his factory to making assessments of the local estates and recommendations for how they could best raise their productivity. He also paid for the trip by selling hundreds of another inventions of his, a simple wheeled hoe which the planters loved. In 1881, he started his own manufacturing operation in Belfast. The success of his innovative use of stoves to move hot air led him to develop a convection heating system for use in human environments. And by the end of the 1880s, his Sirocco stoves were in popular use in schools, church halls and workrooms. He developed his invention further with the introduction in 1898 of a forward-bladed centrifugal fan, which was significantly more powerful than conventional fan designs. This innovation, originally designed for drying tea, evolved into the first air conditioning system. The powerful force of moving hot air across a room with one of his centrifugal fans led one of Davidson's planter colleagues to remark that it reminded him of the Sirocco, the hot wind that blows across the North African desert. And Davidson adopted Sirocco as his brand name, applying it to his products and to the firm's Belfast factory, the Sirocco Engineering Works. Samuel Cleland Davidson married Clara Mary Coleman in 1873 and they had 5 children. Annie Davidson, who was born and died in India, Clara May Davidson, James Samuel Davidson, Richard Dick Frederick Davidson, died of meningitis aged 18, and Kathleen Davidson. Clara married one of her father's employees, Frederick George Maguire, in 1903. James worked as a general manager in his father's business and patented several of his own mechanical engineering developments. He toured the world in 1911 making business deals in Russia, Japan and America, and was expected to eventually take over from his father. Samuel Cleland Davidson became a member of the Institution of Mechanical Engineers in 1888, and in 1921 he was knighted by King George V. Although too ill to make the journey to London for the ceremonials, a few months later Davidson died on the 18th of August 1921 in Seacourt, Bangor, County Down. He was buried alongside his wife Clara Mary in Belfast City Cemetery. David's contribution to engineering in Ireland was commemorated by the Northern Bank in its Inventor series of banknotes, celebrating Northern Irish inventors. Sir Samuel featured with tea plants and some of his machinery on the bank's £50 note. 3 design versions of the series were issued over the years, the second being hastily replaced by the third after a major bank robbery by the IRA. The note was discontinued in 2013 when the bank reissued its banknotes under the new Danske Bank brand. So there's all the information there on Samuel Cleland Davidson. What an amazing guy he was. You can thank him for that cup of tea that you're drinking right now, for the price being relatively cheap. Well, with inflation going up, who knows? And also, when we go on holiday and we walk into those beautiful cold hotels, air-conditioned bars and places like that, we can thank Samuel for that. So we'll now go and have a look for his final resting place. So I've been having a good look around, and do you know what? I think I found it. (1897) Davidson, in loving memory. Clara Marie, wife of Samuel Cleland Davidson, born 19th of May 1850, died at Seacourt, Bangor, County Down, 30th of April 1918. Samuel Cleland Davidson, Knight Commander of the British Empire, founder of the Sirocco Engineering Works, Belfast, born 18th of November 1846, died at Seacourt, Bangor, County Down, 18th of August 1921. Now we've got to say a massive thank you to Samuel Cleland Davidson for bringing us air conditioning, for giving us cheap tea, which we all know us English people love. A good cup of not cheap tea, but a good cup of tea. So thank you, Samuel, for your inventions and what you did for industry back in your time. So there we have it there, Samuel Cleland Davidson. A man that was well ahead of his time and brought us so many wonderful things, so many inventions. And it's great to see these people that are innovators, people that continue to help build and help with our infrastructure for our industry, for our time, everything and anything. I love seeing these sorts of people, and it's a shame that we don't get many more of them these days. Everything seems to have been invented, and the things that we do invent these days seem to be a little bit too technical for the likes of you and I to not get our hands on. Anyway, from Belfast City Cemetery, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take it easy.